trader? Well, YouTube thinks you are. If you're not a trader, you can click the link.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what you're saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this today, make sure you join me on my Telegram channel. Left a link to that in the live chat, and also the description below. Post a lot of different trading setups there throughout the week, and you don't be missing out on that. So make sure you go check that out. But like I said, make sure you join the live stream, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a like in the video if you're feeling generous as well. But like always, got another live stream for you. Going to talk you through what's happening in the charts today, see if we've got any opportunities coming our way. And yeah, we're going to see any trades today. So first one, start with AUD like usual. You can see for this one, again, we pushed to the upside quite nicely. We've seen some US dollar weakness coming to the market, which obviously helped AUD push to the upside. But we're coming back into a very key level here on the daily around 0.78, which I have been talking about on my weekly analysis videos as well. So very key level here in the market, around 0.78. As you can see, we pushed back into that level. Haven't had a bearish reaction yet, but I'm expecting to see some type of bearish reaction from AUD from this level, and a nice push to the downside. Potentially not all the way back down to 0.77, which is this support here, because again, US dollar is quite weak, so I don't know if price will manage to make that move all the way down there, but I'm suspecting to see a bearish reaction to the downside for AUD in the next few hours or so. Of course, we could go break through that level, but right now we're kind of retesting that as resistance. So expect to see some type of reaction to the downside there for AUD, unless we got obviously break through. If we break through it, then I would suspect price is probably coming back to the highs around 0.79, potentially higher after that. Because at that point, we're probably seeing a continuation of this daily bullish trend here in the market, and just seeing price overall continue that bullish trend, create higher highs, higher lows, and probably reach 0.8 soon enough after that. But right now, pushing into this resistance, expecting to see some type of reaction to the downside there for AUD. But right now, we are still looking bullish there. And the USD slightly similar again to AUD in terms of the way they move. We've had a nice push to the upside for this one. We're still looking bullish here, expecting this to push higher as well. Might see a bit of retrace coming to the markets, but overall we are still quite bullish here for NZD USD. Price is still looking very bullish, pushing to the upside there. I do think price is likely to get back to these highs around 0.73 up here, potentially even higher if it breaks through that. Looking at this on the daily chart, you can see we're really pushing to the upside now for NZD USD. Key level 0.73. If we can break through that, I suspect price to come all the way back to 0.745, which are these highs here, which we were all the way back in February. So overall price is still looking bullish here for NZD USD, approaching key level 0.73. Again, expecting to see some type of bearish reaction at that level, but if we do break through it, we'll probably see a really nice breakout and really see price take off for NZD USD. But right now looking bullish, of course, again helped with that US dollar weakness, and I suspect price is probably still on its way higher to around 0.73 level for NZD USD. Another USD pair, UCJPY, you can see still looking very bearish here as well, pushing to the downside with this very strong close on the 4H time frame. It's been falling to the downside pretty much from the end of last week coming into this week as well. You can see very choppy price action, but it's kind of kicked off with that kind of that just closed right now. So overall, UCJPY is still very bearish, expecting price to continue to the downside further. I did say in my weekly analysis we can be expecting to see UCJPY back at these lows here around around 108,400, sorry, because again we'll come back to that key resistance. We rejected it first time, looks like we rejected it again, so expecting to see price fall back down to around this area here in the market. Break through that, we'll probably come back to these lows here around 107,500, and potentially even lower if we can get past this 108,400 level, because really strong support. You see if I take that across, was acting as support here as well not too long ago, and actually did give us a big move to the upside all the way to 111. So key support that needs to be broken. If it is broken, I think we can go a lot further, but I think that is where price is headed, especially with that strong close on the 4H there on UCJPY. So biases to the downside, expecting a test of 108,400. Break through that, can go a lot further back to these lows and see price really kick off. Euro USD, this price is still very, very bullish here. You can see we actually got broken through this resistance here in the market. Again, we're expecting to see more continuation to the upside for Euro USD. Right now, we're breaking a very key level on the daily, which is something to note. Of course, we're already quite early into the day, so not to say we've broken through that daily level yet, because we still need to see a daily candle close above that level to really confirm that we've had a strong break of that level, because of course by the end of the day we could pull back and actually close below that level, similar to what happened here. We tried to break through it, we're looking very bullish at one point, then by the end of the day we pulled all the way back and actually closed beneath that level. So need to wait for the daily candle to close, but if it does close, I think we could have a very strong breakout. Of course, as long as it's not a false break, I do expect to see price come back to these highs all the way up here around 1.23400, so those previous highs there, and potentially higher than that. So Euro USD expecting more continuation to the upside here. It looks like we're breaking through that key level. Of course, we're going to wait for the daily candle to close to confirm that break, but if it is a break, we should be seeing more continuation back to these highs all the way up there and potentially further, and just continue this overall bullish trend on the market here. So expecting more continuation to the upside for Euro USD. Again, it'd be nice to see a retest of that area. Again, great place to look for buys on that retest, expecting more continuation, and you can really look to swing this trade all the way up to 1.23400 if we can get up there. So expecting more continuation to the upside for Euro USD, but again, wait for that daily candle to close to really confirm the breakout there. Similar to GPUSD, more continuation to the upside for this pair as well, pushing to that 1.42400 level, which was the recent high that we had back in February as well. So overall, GPUSD is still looking quite bullish. You can see we're still pushing to the upside here. Again, I was talking to you guys in my weekly analysis video. So if we were to see a pullback, look for buys. Didn't really see much of a pullback again for GPUSD. Kind of had the actual pullback back to 1.4 was kind of the end of last week, and from there we just kind of continued to the upside for this pair. So I'm expecting price to get back to those highs, those daily highs there back in February, which is around 1.42400, and probably past that area, because again, from a monthly point of view, we're expecting much more continuation to the upside. I'm expecting price to actually go and take out these highs here in the market, which it is coming to test now. I'm expecting price to take out this resistance and see a push maybe to 1.44, maybe even 1.45. So with that in mind, if we do see more continuation on the lower time frames, it's just another opportunity to buy, in my opinion, because right now GPUSD looks like it's on its way to create some new highs and push to that around that 1.44 mark. So again, price is looking quite bullish now. Probably need to wait for the retrace, or maybe you can look to take advantage of the retrace and look to sell the market maybe once it's made its new high. But right now, still very bullish. So got to wait a little bit more patiently for GPUSD to give itself a bit of a correction, then look to get involved there. But right now, still bullish, expecting it to take out those highs there, probably by the end of today as well, because of how bullish it's looking, and it's probably around extra 30 pips will take, give or take, there to the upside. So expecting more continuation to the upside for GPUSD and potentially some new highs soon. GBJPY, again, similar to GPUSD, price is still looking very bullish here as well. We were consolidating throughout most of last week after the big push we had, and now we're kind of leaking towards the upside. So it'll be nice to see a bit more of a pullback for this pair. If we were to break through this support, come back and retest this, and then look for the continuation after that. However, again, price is just far too bullish, and it's actually breaking out that consolidation to the upside. So we're already seeing that consolidation starting to break, as you can see, taking out this recent high here in the market, and actually had a strong close above it. So price right now, GBJPY, GPUSD as well, move very similar, and as you can see, both of them are still very bullish. Expecting to see 155 reached for GBJPY by the end of the week, and as you can see, we're almost there, and it's only Tuesday. So expect to see a push into those highs, more continuation. Again, if you look to trade the lower time frames, if you do see a nice correction on the lower time frames, I think it's just another opportunity to look for buys, to ride that to around 155 level, and then maybe after that we can take advantage of the shorting opportunities. But all I'm seeing is bullish GBP USD and bullish GBJPY at this moment in time. Hello, you're right. Thank you again for joining the live stream. Hope you are doing well. Again, if you want me to take a look at any pairs that you're looking at, or if you need any trades at the moment, let me know. We'll take a look at them together. But yeah, thanks again for joining the live stream. Much appreciated. Taking a look at gold. So gold again, still very, very bullish. Expecting to see gold go and tap into that trend line from last week. Didn't see much retrace, however, price just continued to the upside. I believe it's actually broken through that trend line now with that daily close that we had yesterday. So again, so we got a first test there, second, third test is actually breaking through that trend line, which is probably quite expected to happen because again, a lot of people probably would have been looking to sell that trend line. So you can see a big candle just taking everybody out. So I do think for gold now, potential selling opportunities, again, short term, not long term. I think gold selling opportunities could be coming around later this week. Not quite ready just yet though. Looking at that 1 hour time frame there, looking at the 30 minutes, I don't think it's quite ready yet to short. But I think gold shorting opportunities could come into play this week. Again, like I said, I don't think it's long-term short, so push me back down to this area around 1844 and potentially maybe this area here around 1818. So potentially kind of two targets. Maybe that second target is a bit more aggressive. But yeah, I do think gold shorting opportunities coming into play later on this week after we've seen this big push. We've taken out that trend line. Again, a lot of people could have been taking out that trade looking to short at the trend line there. So after that big push, you might see a bit of retracement to the downside and can look to capitalize on that push as well. I think we'll come up to a really nice area of daily supply there as well. As you can see, kind of last after this big push to the downside, we retraced kind of to this area, held that area, and from there we had this big move to the downside. So it is a strong area of supply, strong area of resistance. I'm expecting to see some type of reaction there, tapping into it. So yeah, nice place to look to short gold. Of course, wait for those confirmations as well. So targets around 1850, I'd say first, then maybe 1840, 1844, and then probably the final target if depending how bearish gold is. But right now USD is very weak, so quite hard to short gold right now. But maybe if that strengthens up, we could see a little bit more opportunity to short gold. But right now, still looking a little bit bullish for me, so not interested in shorting just yet. My chart is cut off. Can you not see? Can you not see the screen? I'll try and make it. I'll try and make it a little bit bigger then. I hope that is better. Is that better? If that's better, please let me know. Good morning, guys. Thank you again for joining. Much appreciated that. Hope you're all having a great day. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at some of those GBP pairs, and I'll take a look at EuroCAD in a second as well. Okay, so GPAUD, are you looking to, okay, you're long on GPAUD. Yeah, GPAUD for this one, we've had a big push to the upside recently. Looks like prices just got out of some retracement. Again, we're back at this kind of area of resistance there. Potentially could see some new highs actually past that area. Looking at how the market is forming. What time frames are you looking to, have you gone long on GPAUD? Looking at the low time frames, 4H. Let me know, because right now GPAUD is still looking quite bullish here, pushing back into those highs. So far it looks like a good opportunity. If you break through that, potentially could go a lot further, maybe to 1.83, which I believe is where that daily wicked into. So yeah, around that 1.83 mark. and it looks like we kind of held that support for kind of a false break there. Looking at the hourly time frame, so key support, false break, kind of dipped below it, pushed back up, holding that as support there. So yeah, we'll see more continuation to the upside. Stuck in a little bit of range there for GPAD, but if you do take out that resistance, some more continuation could come along quite quickly there for GPAD. But yeah, it looks like GP is quite strong, so that will probably help your trades at this moment in time. But of course, that kind of resistance there is kind of like your main barrier that needs to break for this trade to really kick off. But it does look quite bullish looking at this price action here. Bit of consolidation, slight fake to the downside. Now we're pushing up quite strong. So yeah, it does look like more continuation to the upside. But of course, that resistance needs to be broken for this trade to really kick off. But it does look good so far. GPUSD, again, we were talking about that earlier, looking very, very bullish. Like I did say, expecting to see price come and take out those highs around 1.42400. Expecting to see those levels getting taken out, which we were back in February. As you can see, big wick to the upside back in February, creating those highs. And I do think those highs will be taken out probably by the end of the week. Maybe not today, but by the end of the week, I think those highs will be taken out. Some new highs will form. Again, looking for a bit of retrace, but right now price is still very bullish. And yeah, it does look like a good trade if you're already in that GPUSD long. Still pushing up very, very well. EURUSD long, again, I'm actually in this trade as well from back at this area here in the market there. So around 1.20600, got a nice long there, pushed to the upside. I already took most of my profit off because, again, we're coming to a very key daily level. Did let some trickle above just in case we were to break through it. Obviously, you can see that's happened now. And seeing if we could potentially get that continuation all the way to those highs up there. Don't know if I'll stay in the trade for that long, but right now, still looking very, very bullish here. Expecting to see a bit of retrace. Again, if you're not really in the EURUSD long or GPUSD long, can wait to see a bit of retracement. Got a very key level here for EURUSD 1.21800. If you were to come and retest that, that'd be a nice area to look to go long. Of course, if you get that bullish confirmations, but right now price is still very bullish, so wouldn't want to get long on that just yet. Favoring a bit of retracement and then the continuation, but overall price is still looking very, very bullish here for EURUSD and EURJPY. Take a look at that now as well. So yeah, EURJPY still pushing on. Price action is still very bullish here on the 4H. Looking at that hourly there as well, we had a bit of retrace not too long ago and see more continuation. So yeah, like I said, for EURJPY, price action is still very, very bullish here. So again, if I'm looking to trade this one, it'll probably only to buy it really. Again, if I'm looking to sell it, it's got to be very, very short term because price action here is still very bullish. Looking at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly even as well. So again, I think next target for this one is probably a 134, which is all the way up there. Again, probably by the end of the week, maybe, not saying today, but yeah, we are pushing to the upside. Create some new highs just a moment ago with this big candle working to the upside. So going to see a bit of retrace coming to the market probably after that, but still looking very bullish. And again, it's a bullish market and there's no telling when price would reverse. Of course, we can map out areas of supply or resistance, but right now still looking very bullish here. So yeah, expecting more continuation to the upside for EURJPY. Again, EURUSD is looking like it's going to push high as well, and since those two pairs correlate quite well, can maybe expect to see more continuation as well for EURJPY there as well. So yeah, more upside room to go for EURJPY. Looking like good trades for all four of those opportunities there as well. Going to take a look at EuroCAD. So EuroCAD for this pair, again, recently we've had a big sell-off to the downside. You can see there on the daily, a big push to the downside, price create new lows, push back up. It was looking like the market might turn bullish for a second. However, as you can see, this was just a formation of a lower high there in the market, and we saw much more continuation to the downside there for EuroCAD. So overall price action is still bearish long term there on the daily. But price looks like it is starting to find a little bit of a bottom there potentially there for EuroCAD. If we do highlight this support here in the market, it'll come back to retest that. Of course, if we do hold it, I do see a little bit more upside potential, but again, EuroCAD, because of how bearish the daily is, again, I'm not too sure how long this trade will last. It's got this area of resistance just above it, which could easily send price back down. So my opinion, EuroCAD probably not the best pair to trade looking at this right now. If you were to maybe come back into this area, maybe on the hourly, that could be a nice area to sell. As you can see, a lot of conviction to the downside, nice area of resistance, nice area of supply. If you were to push back down into that, push into that area, that could be a nice area to look to sell it again, expecting to see another swing to the downside. But yeah, that's the only opportunity. We are pushing to the upside, but again, the risk to reward is not quite there because we've got straight resistance just above us. I'm kind of trapped between that support. So for EuroCAD, maybe a bit tricky pair to trade. Maybe to break out of it, pull back down, could get a better opportunity later on. But right now, EuroCAD is looking quite bullish. So if you're looking to buy that, again, your target has to be around this level here, because again, that level could easily send it back down. And if you're looking to short the pair, again, that area there, nice place to look to go short as well. Nice area of supply, big push to the downside, lot of conviction. So if you do reject that area again, there's a good chance we'll probably see another swing to the downside all the way back to this support, because again, the overall structure, the overall sentiment of the market is still very bearish. So again, you do have that trend on your side if you're looking to short it. Of course, that was a nice strong bullish candle there, so I'm expecting it to push into that resistance. But if you don't see a break, then we'll probably likely see price fall back over. If you were to see a break, we might see potential reversal on the hands, or maybe a bit of a counter trend move. And again, if it does break, could wait for that retest to continue it. But right now, kind of stuck between support and resistance, so not totally clear there for EuroCAD. Maybe if we were to push back into one of these areas, it would become a lot more clearer. But yeah, just pushing to the upside and the potential selling opportunity from that area, but I wouldn't touch it where it is now. Gonna take a look at GBP NZD. So GBP NZD is similar to GBP AUD. Of course, this pair, we've had a big push to the upside. We came to that key level. We did not see a break of that level, which was the key daily level I was talking to you guys on my weekly analysis video. As we're coming back into this key level here on the daily, as you can see, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. I said if you saw a break, can wait for the retest, ride it back down to fill that range. However, we did not see a break. Price held that as support, and now it is looking bullish. So we could actually expect to see more continuation to the upside now for GBP. Of course, we've got our highs all the way up there as a kind of a target for price to go. Not necessarily have to look to target there if you're looking to buy it, but GBP is looking quite bullish right now. Again, we've had that big push, maybe in some retracement. We do have this trend line coming in the market there, so might cause a bit of struggle. But if you do break through that trend line, which price is trying to do on that candle, we could potentially go a lot further to the upside, potentially back to those highs around 1.98. So GBP strong bounce there. Looks like we're turning into a bullish market again. And if we do continue, could potentially go and test 1.98 all the way up there. No problem, happy to help. Get any other pairs you want me to take a look at, just let me know. We'll take a look at them together as well. Going to see what's happening with the DXY. So DXY dollar index, again, good market to look at when you want to trade the USD pairs, to let you know what US dollar is doing, of course. And as you see, price is still looking very, very bearish here. You can see this is the daily chart, by the way. Price action is creating new lows in this bearish trend. It's pushing back to this area. We had this long wick to the downside before pushing all the way up. So pushing into an area of demand. But again, looking at this from the higher time frame point of view, the market is still overly bearish, and I am expecting to see new lows past this point here in the market. So I've just drawn that line. I am expecting to see price push into that level and create some new lows and potentially fall to around the 88 mark. So Again, that's long-term bias, but DXY is still looking very bearish. You can see we've created some new lows very aggressively there as well. So again, we're likely to see some retrace come into the market, which is why I'm favoring EURUSD to start retracing soon, GBUSD to start retracing. But again, the overall direction of these markets is still very much down, which again is helping EURUSD push up, GBUSD push up as well. So expecting to see some new lows here for DXY. Again, if we were to see some retracement, again, that will help you, give you extra confidence of why you could potentially look to buy EURUSD or go buy GBUSD, because you know the DXY is falling and got a lot more room to fall to the downside, in my opinion, as well. So yeah, expecting more US dollar weakness there for the DXY and a lot more downside continuation. I think we could reach 89 very soon and potentially 88 as well. Yeah, sure, I'll take a look at GBJPY. So GBJPY, like we were looking at this one before, we're expecting more continuation to the upside for GBJPY. I said last week it'd be nice to see a bit more retracement coming back into this pair, maybe even a false break of that level or a retest of that level down there. However, price is just looking far too bullish for GBJPY. Had a bit of consolidation last week. Looks like we've broken out of that there on the 4H. Looking at this on the hourly as well, price action is still quite bullish. So overall, I'm still expecting more upside continuation for GBJPY back to 155. That was kind of like the target for the week, and as you can see, we're trading at around 154.746. So we're not too far off where I'm expecting price to reach by the end of the week. We're about 30 pips away or so. So I'm expecting to see 155 going reached. Again, looking for those buying opportunities. I think maybe once we test 155 or maybe 156, potential shorting opportunities to capitalize on the retracement. Again, short-term shorting opportunities. But right now, again, only favoring buys right now for GBJPY because I'm still seeing more continuation. Looking at the 30-minute as well. Price action is holding that support there, that area of demand quite nicely, and it's still pushing to the upside. So expecting more upside movement to 155 for GBJPY, and then maybe after that a bit more retracement. But I'm only seeing bullish moves for GBJPY. Nice to see potentially maybe a retracement to come and retest the previous resistance here in the market, now turn support. So that could be a nice opportunity there. Again, take advantage of those pips to the upside, around 70 pips. So does have a nice reward there. If you were to see that retracement, come and test that area and then see the continuation before maybe hitting that area right away. But price action is looking quite bullish, so I'm not too sure if you will see that retracement back down to that level. But if it does happen, again, that'll be a nice opportunity to go long, of course, if you do get the confirmations at that level. But expecting more upside movement for GBJPY. So again, hope that analysis did help. Yeah, sure, we'll take a look at EURUSD now. So yeah, EURUSD still looking very bullish. Like I said for this one earlier, we're breaking through a very key level here on the daily time frame. As you can see, 1.21800 is a very key level of daily resistance. As you can see, resistance there as well. I believe if we do have a break of this level, it probably will take us to 1.23400, which is that previous weekly highs all the way up there. So that's where I'm expecting price to go for EURUSD. Of course, we need to see a daily close above this level to really confirm it, because we could easily pull all the way back down, actually close below that level and just get another false breakout like we had not too long ago here with this big wick to the upside, and then price pulled all the way back down. So although I do expect price to break it, we need to wait for that candle to close on the daily there. But yeah, if we do have that close, I am seeing more continuation to the upside for EURUSD to around the 1.23400 area. Looking at this on the 4H, again, you can see really strong close there. As I said, it'd be nice to see maybe a bit of retracement back down to this area. Again, that daily area of resistance will now be turned support around 1.21800. If you were to come back down to that area, great place to look for buys, in my opinion, and then maybe look to ride it potentially all the way back to that level. Again, that's a really nice swing trade. Don't have to be involved for the whole move, But again, I think it's just generally a good place to look to buy the market, where you do expect to see some type of bullish reaction, whether you're looking for the whole move or half of it. I'm expecting to see a nice reaction there for Euro USD. So my bias is to the upside. We recently just had a big push, so we're likely to see a bit of retracement. Maybe price trickles up a little bit more before having that retracement. But yeah, looking for retracement, a retest on that level that we just broke, and then we can see more continuation to the upside, potentially back to those weekly highs, and even higher than that as well, if we keep up with that US dollar weakness. But biases to the upside, expecting more bullish momentum for USD, but again, waiting for that retrace first. So again, hope that analysis did help there for Euro USD. Looking at Euro GBP, so for this pair, for this pair, expecting more downside movement for Euro GBP. I did say in my weekly analysis that again, price action is quite bearish here. Not too long ago, I was favouring for price to really push to the upside for Euro GBP. However, we failed to take out that key resistance around 0.87. Got a slight kind of head and shoulders there, as you can see, shoulder, head, shoulder. Then price fell to the downside. We recently kind of retested this kind of mid-level between the range we had in the market. So on my weekly analysis video, if you guys did watch that, you can see we had a nice area of support here, nice area of resistance there, and this is kind of like the mid-level between all of that. And price did reject that on Monday, and as you can see, we saw quite a nice bearish momentum coming to the downside. And I'm favouring price to reach that 0.85500 level, which is all the way down here for Euro GBP. So I'm favouring price to roll over. It's looking a little bit bullish now coming into that support, but I'm favouring price to roll over and go and test that area. Of course, it does have to break through that support first. If it doesn't, it'll probably reject higher. And if it does go and break through this kind of mid-level here, then I'm favouring price to continuing much higher, maybe even back to 0.87 after that for Euro GBP. But we're kind of stuck between kind of that minor level there of support and that kind of mid-level there between that range. So it kind of depends on what Euro GBP, what level it wants to break. At the minute in time, it looks like it's holding that level, that mid-level, quite nicely. It's holding that support as well, but it could easily turn around and go and break through that level. So I'm expecting to see more GBP strength come into the markets. So hopefully that will kind of take Euro GBP down. But right now, as you can just see from Euro USD and some other Euro pairs as well, Euro JPY, Euro is quite strong as well. So it kind of depends who wins that battle. Euro GBP doesn't move as well as other pairs as well, because Euro and GBP, sometimes their strength could be quite similar, which does lead to a bit of consolidation there in the markets, like we've seen not too long ago. But of course, if we do see the more rejection of that mid-level there, I'm expecting to see more continuation to the downside, break through it, then a push to around 0.87. So that is what I'm favouring there for Euro GBP. Going to take a look at some of the AD pairs now. So ADJPY, again for this pair, a little bit messy now. Price action was looking good back over here, but it's getting a little bit messy. Looking at these level here, we had the really key level of resistance, that we did spike above not too long ago there on the 4H. Probably see a little bit better on the daily with that wick. So again, you can see resistance there, spiked above it, pushed back down. So overall price action is still bullish for ADJPY. We're still creating higher highs, higher lows, but I feel like we could be seeing maybe a potential bigger move to the downside. Again, price action is still very choppy here. Looking at this on the 4H hourly, we're still making higher highs, higher lows. So expecting to see maybe another push into that level. Depending if you reject it, we could maybe look for selling opportunities. If we do hold that level, there may be more downside continuation. But right now, again, still bullish, favouring another push into that level. If it breaks through it, then we potentially could see price go a lot higher, maybe back to highs over here. But overall, I'm expecting to see a bigger move to AJPY coming up soon. Maybe not just yet though. So could see maybe one more push back into that key level around 85,400, and from there, if you do see some nice selling opportunities, could take advantage of that. Maybe look for a bigger push to the downside. Yes, GBJPY, like I said, for this one, more continuation to the upside. I'm expecting for GBJPY. Again, the target for the week was 155, which is all the way up there. Again, not too far away from that area. Again, around 30 pips. So GBJPY, you're consolidating for the most of last week, as you can see here in the market. We finally had a breakout. So I said it would be nice to see a bit of a retest of that area of resistance. Now going to be acting as support, and then see the continuation back to 155. Again, I'm not too sure if that will happen though, because price action is still quite bullish, and we could just see price kind of trickle to the upside anyway, and just go and test that resistance there, which maybe could be a nice opportunity to sell, take advantage of some retracement. But again, very, very short-term opportunity, because I feel like GBJPY could go a lot further looking at the higher time frames, but we can expect to see maybe some bearish reaction from that level. But yeah, it would be set. I said it would be nice to see a pullback into that area around 154,300 as support, previous resistance turned support, and then potentially look to buy it from there, targeting that 155 level, which again had about 70 pips to the upside. So a nice reward if that was to happen. But like I said, it's still looking very bullish, so we might not even get that pullback all the way back down to that level. So expecting more upside for GBJPY back to 155, and maybe even higher after that. Still looking very, very bullish for this pair. Looking at AUD CAD. So again, from the markets, we're seeing again AD a very, very choppy pair right now for AD CAD. Did see a nice push to the upside recently, but again, still looking very bearish here. It looks like we might see another push to the downside if you see a break of this counter trend line. See a break of that, and then maybe one more move to the downside, creating some new lows. Again, you can see on the daily time frame, price action is still very, very bearish here, trending to the downside quite well. Kind of just mirrored this bullish movement to the upside. Actually, if you take a look at that price action, with that bullish movement, the pullbacks kind of just mirrored it to the downside right now. So we could actually see more downside continuation, but overall, we're still bearish here, pushing to the downside there in the 4H. And a break of that counter trend line, I feel like will take us back down to these lows over here. So again, AUD CAD don't really trade it too often, very choppy pair right now. It does give good moves occasionally, as you can see, big move there, big move there. But right now we're getting kind of choppy price action and not really looking to get involved. But of course, if you are, we do have former support term resistance around here. And if it does hold the area, breaks through the trend line, could be looking to take advantage of some shorts back down to those lows, and maybe even further than that, because again, the market is still very, very bearish. And if the market just follows that trend, we could see a lot more continuation to the downside for AD CAD. Taking a look at AUD NZD. So again, this is a very, very choppy pair as well, or can be anyway. Do not trade this pair often, but I know some people do. You can see here, again, kind of just illustrating my point there, very choppy there on the daily. Clear resistance we are rejecting, but price is struggling to really take off. Clear support rejecting as well, price struggling to take off. Just depends which way price wants to break through. Looking at this from the 4-hourly point of view, we see are on a bearish trend, price making lower lows, lower highs. Price action has kind of given us a hint now we might be falling to the downside again, because we broke into the upside, failed to sustain ourselves, came straight back down, pushed back up again, failed to make a higher high, bit of consolidation, nice push back down, pushed up again, showing failure to push up to create a higher high. So I'm favoring probably another push to the downside again for ADNZD, back down to the support and maybe lower high, and just that until we finally break through completely through that consolidation. Because overall price action is still very bearish. You can see we've got this bearish trend all the way from those highs, and it looks like the market is keeping up with that price action at this moment in time. So yeah, expecting more downside for ADNZD, but again, don't really like trading this pair, so won't be looking for that opportunity. But if you are, I feel like a move to the downside does look quite likely, looking at that price action back down to that support and maybe even further. This is TradingView. So again, it's an online platform. You don't have to download it. Type in www.tradingview.com. Come up in Google. Really good platform. Do recommend it. Good for analysis. I don't actually use this platform to execute my trades. I use MT4, but for analysis, this is quite good platform to use. So you can check that out if you want to. But yeah, this is TradingView. Okay, so take a look at some NZD pairs now. So really looked at NZD USD. Really look at NZD USD. Take a look at NZD JPY. So for this pair as well, similar to AUD JPY. Overall price is still bullish, creating new highs, pushing through that resistance. I wouldn't say it's quite broken it yet. As you can see, we've had a kind of a close above, but overall price action hasn't really shown much conviction trying to break through that area. So we could actually see a bit of a false breakout before actually maybe seeing a bigger move to the downside there for JPY. Overall, the price action is still bullish. As you can still see, it's obeying that trend line. But I feel like we could start to see maybe potentially price turn bearish. As you can see, we did struggle to create that high there in the market. So as you can see, you had this strong push creating a higher high, failed to create a higher high there, actually created a lower high. So it is giving signs that price action is running out of steam to the upside. It might actually give a break to the downside. Of course, we do need to see a break of that trend line first to really confirm it. But it is giving hints that NZJPY could be turning over, strong area of supply as well. Could be turning over to bearish and maybe seeing a bit of a bearish trend in this market. But still bullish now, still wouldn't short it. Maybe if we come back into that area, fail to create another higher high, creates a lower high, could be a nice area to look to short and maybe take advantage of a sell there. But right now, not enough for me to get involved in any trades there for NZJPY. I might actually see it push to the upside despite that. So potentially could be turning bearish, but again, wait for a bit more confirmations. Maybe another push to the upside. Another push to the upside, and maybe another failure creating a higher high. And that could give another confirmation to short that pair, but not just yet in my opinion. Going to take a look at NZD-CAD. So we just took a look at AD-CAD. Now NZD-CAD, again, similar pairs. You can see price action is still quite bearish here. I did say on my weekly analysis. So again, if you haven't checked out that video yet, make sure you go check it out. It's on my channel right now, most recent video. Again, you can see we had that key level there on the daily that I said if price was to close below, probably see more continuation to the downside. You can see that we had a strong close there, pushing to the downside. I think maybe a retest of that area could be coming now for NZD-CAD. Then more continuation to the downside possibly. If you were to break above this area, then potentially you could see more continuation to the upside. But right now, price action is still looking quite bearish for me after that very impulsive move to the downside. Big push up, however, didn't really sustain itself, pushing back down again. So in my opinion, very important level to see what happens with price action, if it rejects it or if it breaks through it. If it does keep rejecting that level, so we're seeing a lot of wicks, price action struggling to get above, then that could be a nice area to sell from, expecting more continuation and a lower low below that support there. However, if we're to storm through it, create a higher high price at that point, then maybe you actually might see a push back into that resistance up there around 0.88500. So need to be aware of that, two potential possibilities. But right now we haven't quite reached that level, so we'll see what happens there. And this is a 4-hourly time frame. It might take to the end of the day to get there. But price action for me is still quite bearish there for NZD-CAD. So not looking for longs just yet. Maybe if we were to break through it, retest, then potentially longs. But if you do reject that level there, I'm seeing more downside continuation for NZD-CAD. Going to take a look at some of the Euro pairs. So Euro NZD. USD, very choppy pair. We were looking at this this pair last week, and I believe we were around here. And again, price action was not looking good then, and I still think for this week, price action is not looking good right now either. It looks like we're slowly trending to the upside a little bit there. Key level of support that we did have a false break of not too long ago. As you can see, support 1, 2, 3, 4. False break, retest it again, bit of accumulation, then we had a big push to the upside. It looks like price action is trying to create a higher low there in the market, so not revisiting the support but creating a higher low. And if you do take out that resistance, I think price action is going to probably trend into the upside now for USD. We do have a key level of resistance up here, which I do think that is where price is heading. You can see that's where we had a double top. Test it once, test it the second time, fell to the downside quite strongly. And I feel that is where price action is headed now, with creating those higher lows there in the market. Whether it breaks through it or not too sure. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I do think that's where USD is headed. And again, that'll probably just give us just a bigger range in the market. As you can see, we were focused on this area here with that range, and now it's probably just gotten bigger. And now I'm going to focus on that resistance and that support there as well. So again, USD, very, very choppy pair, like I've been saying for the past few weeks now for USD, but it does look like we start to push to the upside, getting a little bit more clarity. Again, that could be a nice place to short the market in anticipation of maybe another swing to the downside. But yeah, overall still looking bullish. Wouldn't execute a buy there. It's not really at a point, an area of interest for me. More valuable if price was around this support than looking to buy it. Not in the middle of where it is right now. So could potentially be waiting for selling opportunities around here. Like I said before, not really in the mood to be messing around with USD as it is now. So I want a bit more clarity. Push that area, reject it. Could be for some shorts after that. Euro AUD, again similar to USD. So Euro AUD as well, pushing to the upside. This pair is slowly trending to the upside. We can see that on the daily. As you can see, price action is slowly pushing to the upside. We've been seeing a very strong bearish trend for Euro AUD for quite some time now, but it looks like it's slowly turning bullish. We're trying to do anyway. You can see the price action here on the daily. We had this big impulsive candle, retracement, push, retracement, push, retracement, push. So it's trying to turn bullish. It's slowly climbing to the upside. As you can see, it's creating higher highs, higher lows. Well, it hasn't technically created higher highs because it hasn't really broken through that resistance until yesterday, really. But it's been creating higher lows there in the market. As you can see, if I just highlight that area, creating higher lows. So it is slowly pushing to the upside. Kind of had equal lows there. So UAD on the daily slowly climbing to the upside, giving us a hint that this resistance is quite likely to break if we keep up with that price action there. We might see another dip to the downside, but I think that resistance is getting likely to break for EUR/AUD. Coming to the 4H, you can see price action is really struggling to break to the downside from that resistance. So we might see another bearish reaction for EUR/AUD if we take out that support there, and then we see more continuation to the downside. But right now having a bit of consolidation there for EUR/AUD. So could be looking for shorting opportunities. It is a nice area. Again, it would be nice to see another maybe push higher. Maybe a potential head and shoulders could be forming here for EUR/AUD. There's the left shoulder, there's the head, potential right shoulder, and then maybe you see a break of that support. Could look for shorting opportunities and more continuation to the downside. But right now price action is looking quite bullish, so I wouldn't yet look to short that pair. But again, like I said, it's coming to a very key resistance. I'm expecting to see one more bearish reaction to the downside, maybe before the big breakout of that resistance. So it is a nice area to look to short. But again, I'm not seeing price action lining up just yet. Bit more development for that pair, and then maybe a potential shorting opportunity could be coming up for EUR/AUD. look at some of the CAD pairs. Take a look at USD CAD first. So USD CAD for this pair is still looking very, very bearish here. Like I did say during my weekly analysis again, that for USD CAD we're going to be expecting more downside continuation for this pair, because again it's still very, very bearish. I'm expecting to reach 1.2, which is down there, and again it's not too far from that area already. You can see it's practically gone to that area. 1.2, I said last week, it'd be nice to see a bit more retracement, come and retest that area again for the third time, and then look for the shorting opportunities from that retracement. However, as you see, price action was just far too bearish and really haven't got much an opportunity to look to buy that pair, sell that pair to the downside there for USD CAD, unless you got involved in the lower time frames, of course. I said if you broke through there, that key area of resistance, and held it as support, be nice to look for long opportunities. However, that never happened. As you can see, we never even got to that level in the first place, but again, already expecting to see more continuation to the downside anyway for USD CAD. So price action is still looking bearish, expecting to see more continuation as well for USD CAD. Might see a bit of retracement come into the market now, but again, we took a look at the DXY, and price action is still very, very bearish as well. So expecting to see more continuation to the downside for USD CAD. Maybe take a look at taking some buy opportunities for USD CAD, maybe around the 1.2 area. We could see maybe a nice bullish reaction from there. But again, you have to wait for your confirmations, and definitely look to take profits a little bit quicker, just because you're up against it a little bit when you're looking for buying opportunities in such a bearish market. But right now, there's nothing for me to get involved in for USD CAD. No, I have just about to take a look at CAD JPY and CAD CHF as well. So I'll start with CAD JPY. Okay, so for CAD JPY, like I said, for this pair, price action is still very, very bullish. Looking at my weekly analysis, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go check that out. It's on my channel now. And yeah, price action for CAD JPY is still very, very bullish. I said targets for this pair is that 91,627 level up there, which I'm expecting price to do. And as long as price kind of stays in this channel, I do expect to see price action kind of maintain that and slowly work its way to go and test that 91,627 level. I said if we do see a breakout of this channel, however, I can see maybe a bigger push to the downside first, because price action is so corrective here. So you could see a bigger push to the downside back into this support, then maybe the big push to the upside after that. So if you're looking to short USD, CAD JPY actually, if you're looking to short CAD JPY, I'll probably wait for a break of that channel, and then maybe a retest, the lower high formation, and then look to get involved in some shorting opportunities there. So something like this, a nice break, a lower high there, and get involved in that short, and look to capitalize on the move to the downside there for CAD JPY, because I got a feeling that it could be opening up some doors to short the pair, but it's just far too bullish to short. So I need to see a bit more bearish confirmations before shorting that pair. If you're looking to buy it, because again, you've got that bias from the higher time frames, and expecting to see more upside continuation. And again, I agree. I do expect to see a push to that 91,627 level. Can look to buy on retest of this trend line here. Again, stop loss below the previous high. Expecting to see a move back into that area there in the market, which is a very key level. If I go to the monthly, actually go to the weekly actually. If I go to the weekly, take that across, you can see this is where we had our resistance. Tested a couple of times before falling to the downside. So that's what I'm expecting price to push into for CAD JPY, maybe actually push past as well. So that is why I'm expecting price to go into that level. It's just not a random level that I picked. Expecting to get to there for a reason. So yeah, buying opportunities can be good. Again, stop loss below the recent high, recent low, and just look to continue that higher. But if you're looking to take advantage of a short, probably wait for a bit more confirmations, a break of the channel, a new lower low formation, and then look to take the short from there. And potentially could see a push back to that area, but right now still bullish, still trending in that channel, and as long as price action keeps that up, I do feel like we'll be pushing back to that area quite soonish. So CAD JPY still bullish right now, still in that channel, still seeing some more upside continuation for that pair. So again, I hope that analysis did help. Moving on to CAD CHF. So CAD CHF, again, another CAD pair. So with this pair, I'll go on the daily. So you can see with this pair, again, we had this big push to the upside not too long ago. Price really took off from this consolidation here. As you can see, just building up, building up, building up. It was either going to see explosive push to the upside, or we're going to see explosive push to the downside after this building up for practically almost a year, really. So building up, and then we had this explosive push to the upside. Price action is now back at these highs here in the market. Again, retesting that area. I feel like CAD CHF, although CAD JPY is looking bullish, I feel like CAD CHF, we could see a push to the downside. Actually, just looking at that pair right now, looking like we had a big push there, breaking some lows there, and I feel like we're tapping back into that area, we're slowing down. We might see price push to the downside here for CAD CHF. And you see in the 4H, we're seeing some strong bearish reactions. We haven't really taken out any key level here on the 4-hourly time frame, but on the daily, looks like we have. And I feel like if we do see maybe a push downside, create some new lows, pull back on the lower high, that could be a nice opportunity to look to short CAD CHF and maybe ride it down a lot further. So I'm seeing more downside potential than upside potential for CAD CHF. But of course, if price action does keep up this formation of creating higher lows, we could just keep up doing that and just slowly break to the upside. So that's why I probably wait for price to push the downside, break some lows there, pull back up, and then just short it after that. So that's what I'm looking for CAD CHF. But right now, it's still very bullish. Looking at a very not very bullish, but it's still bullish. Looking at the hourly, we've had a really nice bearish reaction there. So it is showing some intent that the price can't really sustain itself. But again, CHF was quite strong this morning. So again, that's had an impact of sending CAD CHF down. But I wouldn't take sales just yet. Potentially could take some buying opportunities actually if it does come back down to around here. Look to stick in some buys, maybe anticipating a move higher. But yeah, not seeing any opportunity really there to get involved with CAD CHF at this moment in time. But I think it could be developing for big shorts coming up later. So maybe next week I could be doing some analysis in CAD CHF on a potential short opportunity, but it's not quite there yet. Maybe if you're looking for longs, if we see a little bit more downside momentums kind of reach this area, I could be looking for longs around here, anticipating another push to the upside. So that could be a nice opportunity there. But again, price action is not quite there just yet. Maybe it is tomorrow, but not just there for CAD CHF right now. So currently in a Euro USD long trade. Again, guys, if you're in any trades as well, just let me know. Take a look at them together, see how they're getting on. Again, no judgment zone here, winning or losing. We all win and lose. But yeah, see how they're going. Let me know. If you want to take a look at you want me to take a look at any different pairs as well, any pairs you're looking to trade, or you just want my opinion on, just let me know. Take a look at them together. Just drop it down in the live chat. But yeah, so currently in a long in Euro USD from last week from this area here, looking for a move to the upside. We've got a nice move there. I already did take most of my position off when we got to that resistance, so I don't have much running right now. But there was a slight chance that the price was actually going to break through that resistance, which you actually see it's actually done, which I didn't expect it to do, but I did leave some on just in case it did. And as you can see, we did get that break. So now waiting for a bit of a retracement, maybe retest that area there as support, and then look for the continuation higher there for Euro USD. Again, still very, very bullish now, so we need to see a lot more correction, a lot more retracement to get involved in that long there for Euro USD, but nothing there for me to get involved yet. Got my eye on it, and we'll see how it develops. Maybe that will form, maybe tomorrow or the day after, potential opportunity there. But yeah, not seeing an opportunity just yet there for Euro USD. I don't know if I get a signal. I'll put it in the Telegram. If I don't get a signal, I won't put anything in the Telegram. Yes, I'm not going to give just any opportunity out. Again, it has to be a good opportunity. But yeah, if I do get one, I'll put one in the Telegram and let you guys know. But at the same time, if there is an opportunity, I'm not just going to put one in there just to make up for the numbers, because again, it is money that you're putting on the line, I assume, obviously. So yeah, looking for the long there on EURUSD and see if you can get a push to that 1.234 area, but I want to see a retracement back to 1.21800, then look to go along from then on. We'll take a look at some crypto as well, because I know some people do look to trade crypto or invest in crypto as well. Okay, so crypto, again, for this one, we saw more downside continuation for this pair for Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin USD. On my weekly analysis, I did say expecting to see more downside continuation for Bitcoin, because again, price was breaking through some key areas. It looks like price was actually creating lower highs there in the market, and as you can see, we've actually had a break of structure here. Price created a higher low there, created a lower low here, breaking through that point there, then created a lower high, and then we have that big push to the downside there for Bitcoin. So price action right now is looking quite bearish for this pair actually. Coming to this key area, I did say if we do see a break of this key area, price action could move a lot further, maybe into this area here, maybe 38,000, before seeing a bigger push to the upside. Right now it's still looking very bearish. Looking at the daily, looking at 4 hourly, it looks like it's consolidating a little bit, building up some price action, but overall again still quite bearish. Again, if you do see that break there on the daily time frame, of course, because we've seen a break on the hourly, but you see a daily close. If daily was to break through this area, probably see a push down to 38,000 from there, maybe see a bit of a buying opportunity. But right now Bitcoin is still looking bearish, and I'm not seeing much buying opportunity right now. Maybe if we take out some of this areas of resistance here just above it, then we might see a little bit more bullish momentum coming to the markets, but right now there's nothing there in my opinion. So yeah, Bitcoin looks like it's moving sideways a little bit, a bit of consolidation at a key level of support, and as you expect to see, as you can see, a big push to the upside, even bigger push to the upside from that same point. So it does have a lot of value behind it. We could actually see a bullish reaction, but if we do go and break it, I think 38,000, 39,000 is where price is likely to fall to before seeing maybe a bigger push to the upside, because it does look like we're trending to the downside a little bit there for Bitcoin. We've had a big push, so we'd like to see some retracement to the upside. But yeah, right now it's still bearish. So I wouldn't say it's the best time to look to buy it. Well, it is getting to a time to buy it, but again, price action is not there to back it up just yet for Bitcoin right now. So expecting more downside continuation unless we break through that area, maybe to 38, 39,000. From there, we could see maybe a bigger push to the upside for that pair. But like I said, in my opinion, still looking quite bearish for Bitcoin. So yeah, just in EURUSD, looking for more continuation to the upside. If you guys want me to take a look at different pairs or anything, let me know, just put it in the live chat. But yeah, you can see if you can get some more upside for EURUSD. First, looking for a bit of retracement. Then we'll look to see if you can get some buying opportunities later on.
Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, so it's just gone 12 p.m. so to wrap up the live stream in just a second. Like always, going to do a quick rundown of some of the pairs that we looked at earlier, see how they got on, and any current trades I'm in as well. So going to start with Euro USD. So again, like I said before, looking for continuation to the upside. Still very bullish here for Euro USD. Again, broken through a key level 1.21800. Waiting for a retest and a continuation. Already got a buy position from down here with some left, looking for that continuation. But again, if you do get a retest, I do think that's a nice area to look to buy the market in preparation for another move higher. But looks like we're suffering a bit of retrace now for USD, which is expected after that big push we had to the upside pretty much in the last few hours. So a bit of retrace to the downside. If we do hold that area, more continuation back up again. GPUSD, similar thing as well. I'm expecting price to go and test the highs here, 1.42400. Previous highs back in February, I'm expecting price to go and test them and probably create some new highs as well. So more continuation to the outside for GPUSD. Again, likely to have a bit of retracement after just taking out this previous high here in the market. So like to see a bit of retracement after that. But again, I do expect to see more continuation to the upside for GPUSD. AUSD suffering minor retrace, but again, very key level as expected. Like I did say earlier on in the live stream, very key level of resistance here. You can see resistance, had a bit of a false breakout not too long ago, and we're now retesting that as resistance again. So I'm expecting to see a slight dip to the downside for AUSD, but overall I'm expecting to see price eventually break through this resistance and really kick off hitting 0.79 and maybe 0.8 after that. So expecting a bit of retrace, but again, probably maybe by the end of the week we're probably broken through this level and seeing more continuation to the upside there for AUSD. So overall still bullish, but might see a slight dip to the downside first before we see that continuation. Similar for USD, expecting more upside continuation back to 0.73 key level of resistance there on the daily, which I'm expecting price to go. You can see resistance there twice, third time. Expecting to see price test again for the fourth time. We held that support, we didn't break through it, and we're looking like we're bullish there again on the daily. So expecting that to continue to the upside. Looks like we are taking out this kind of 4H resistance there in the market. So yeah, expecting more continuation to the upside for the USD back to 0.73, and if we do get a breakout, then price can probably go a lot further. USDJPY price action again still quite bearish here. Looks like something a bit of retrace. I did say USDJPY expecting to see more continuation to the downside. I didn't expect price to break through that resistance. If it did, we'll probably see a lot more continuation to the upside, but expecting price to fall over back down to that resistance, back down to that support, sorry, and expect to see a break potentially as well. So overall, still very bearish here on USDJPY, but yeah, currently in that Euro USD position, looking for more continuation to the upside, waiting for a bit of retracement and see if you can get a buying opportunity from there, take it higher. Again, not expecting it to happen today, maybe tomorrow or later down the week, but again, if it does happen, we'll be looking to capitalize on that opportunity. But that is the end of the live stream. Everyone, thank you again for joining. It does mean a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and also leave a like if you're feeling generous. Make sure you join me on my Telegram channel. Left a link to that in the live chat and also the description below. Posting a lot of different trade setups there throughout the week. So again, make sure you go check that out. But thanks again for joining, and until the next one, I will see you guys later.